Good evening, everybody. I want to talk a little bit about the fight tomorrow, Ben and Eubank. I'm following it all. I'm watching everything, and this rehydration clause is not sitting well with me. So Ben has just missed weight. No, Eubank has just missed. Eubank's just missed weight. He looks depleted. He looks thin. He looks drawn in. He looks terrible. My opinion, I think he looks terrible, and he's just missed weight by 0.5, which is half a pound, and he's been fined 500k, which I think is shit. I think is bad, and he's got a rehydration clause where he can only put £10 on. Now, if I remember rightly, what I'd seen, Eubank can put £14 to £16 on the next day just by rehydrating. So to put a rehydration clause in there where you can only get £10 is disgusting. I disagree with his dad not wanting to be in his corner, but I can see his point. How this fight is extremely dangerous for Eubank Jr. I don't think he's getting a fair shake. I think Eddie and Ben's team are playing on that. Ben's coming up to weights, yada yada yada. Eubank's got the advantage. He hasn't. He hasn't got the advantage, not at all. It's Eubank who's at the disadvantage. It's Eubank who's doing all the weight cut. It's Eubank who's jumping through hoops to get this fight over the line. And this rehydration clause is nigh on disgusting. I think it's a farce. I think it's terrible. To only be able to rehydrate to a certain amount means he's going into that fight depleted. He's not going into that fight 100% or 90% or 80%. He's going in well under 50%. To not be replenished after a tough weigh-in, because the weigh-in looks terrible for him. He looks drawn in, he looks sunk in, he looks depleted, he looks ill, he looks bad, and missing weight by 0.5 and to be fined 500k is not good. Now, I'm a fan of Ben's. I like Conor Ben. I'm a fan of Conor Ben. I think he's ferocious. I love his fighting style. I think it's brilliant. But after watching all this back and forth, and watching the Ben and the Eubank stuff, I really do think that because I never liked Eubank before all this stuff, and now the more I've watched him and the more I've listened to him, the more he's grew on me. And the more I want him to do well in this fight. I wouldn't say I want him to win. I want him to do well. I want both fighters to do well. I'm not fully invested in either one winning. I think they're both terrific fighters. I like both characters. Especially watching this back and forth and the way they're carrying themselves. I think they've sold this fight to something that maybe it's not. The reason why it's as big as it is because of the dads. This fight's probably not nowhere near the magnitude of what the dads fought at. But we're all intrigued and we're all watching it and we're all invested in this fight. Who's going to win, who's going to lose. I think it's madness. I think it's a proper circus of what's going on around this weight. I mean, I've just been watching a few videos there of Eubank cutting weight, and there's something going on with the gloves as well. Eubank's corner's not happy with the gloves. Something about the gloves have been swapped, or it's madness. It's absolute madness. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm going to say Conor Ben because of the rehydration clause. I think I did say Eubank last time, but after watching everything that I've watched, I'm going to say Conor Ben because of how ill Chris looks. I don't think he looks well. He's going to be going into this fight not even 50%. He's only allowed to gain £10. I mean, I put £10 on when I did a weight cut. Every weight cut I've done, the moment I've drank a net, in 6 or 7 hours I've put £8-9 on straight away. Just by drinking water and rehydrating properly all day. I've before the next day I've gained £8 or £9 straight away. So for him to only gain £10, I think is illegal. I think it's bad. You know, I can fully understand where his dad's come from to say that this fight's dangerous. You know, this fight's, he doesn't want his son to do this fight. I absolutely understand where he's coming from. But nevertheless, if his son's going to do it, he needs to be by his side. It's as simple as that. You know, yeah, there's my 10 pence worth. I'm looking forward to this fight. I really am. I'm going down to this fight tomorrow. I'm in London tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good fight. God bless, guys.